The following program is rated TV-17, containing bad language.
You got knocked the fuck out, man!
Sexual situations.
Like you're gonna take your pants off instead.
Nudity.
Sure.
And graphic depictions of nut-crunching dick kicks.
Oh, I just had to kick you in the diddly again.
Parental discretion is advised.
What is going on, everybody? It is Sunday night. Sorry about being a little bit late. Life happens, and it is what it is. But welcome to the Ronin Joe Show, episode 22. I saw Superman today. Did it do good? Was it bad? Well, I don't know. We're going to talk about it. Also, Reaper Destroyer news, as always, because we're getting closer and closer to launching. All this and more on the Ronin Joe Show. Let's go! Ah, there you go. That's professional. What's up? I messed that up. Come on, strike. Let's get out of there. Got to turn the camera on. What the hell's wrong with me? Welcome, everybody. This is the Ronin Joe Show. I am Ronin Joe. Joe M Sonntag, if you prefer. Some people are like, I don't know if we can call you Ronin Joe. I've only been doing this for, 22 episodes now. So, I like it. I like the ring of it. It's got a certain, you know, like a little bit of cockiness to it. What I appreciate about it. I'm a cocky man, as you might know, if you've watched the show. Let's go. Ronin Joe Show. I'm excited to be here. Superman. Went and saw it in theater today. I'm going to talk about it. Some interesting things. It is a show that has divided the Superman fandom between the Snyderverse bros and the Gunn simps, if that's what you want to call it. And I got an honest opinion. You guys know that I was kind of leery of this movie. I have an honest opinion of what I thought about it. First, I'm going to say hi to the chat. Rick Staler is number one in the chat and number one in my heart. My friend, that makes you.
You're number one.
And you are, so here's the funny thing. You are the first member of the chat, so you are also going to get this. It feels so good to have the members in the chat tonight, but you get a 3 for 3 because, come on, you're Rick Saylor. Let's go.
The common thread in all of my failed schemes is human stupidity. People are just too stupid to accept me as their leader.
That's an absolute fact. We know that to be true. We got Mark Penguin in the house as well.
No, Mr. Penguin! A penguin is a bird that cannot fly. I am a man. I have a name.
And his name is Mark Penguin. Let's go. Burn T. Virtue. I like that. It says, tell me you wrote SOARS instead of SOARS because the movie was so painful. No, I'm just illiterate. I just can't spell. I can't read. I can't spell. It's just life, my friend. It's what it is. Everyone in the house, what's going on, man? Hail the early peeps. Yeah, sorry I had to move the show to 9. Life stuff happens, but I tried to be around 8 o'clock, you know, but I think I went 9 o'clock last week too. The same thing. Things pop up, you know. Let's go. Give a follow to the Drawing Aces and the Anthology on Kickstarter, launching July 31st on Bancroft channel. Let's go, everybody. Follow that link, go sign up, and then definitely jump in there for the launch on Michael Bancroft's channel. Mr. Mo Biggs is in the chat. Mo, my friend, I can't find your video. I don't know. So my computer crashed, unfortunately. I don't think it would have affected StreamYard, but for some reason that video is not there. I will make it again, so I promise. I do apologize. I don't have that for you, but great to see you, brother. Appreciate you. And I'm hoping that you get back on the leaderboard here as soon as you can. Oh, look, my company restreamed this, reposted it. That's awesome. Appreciate it. Jeremiah Blackwell, what's going on, man? Hey, what's up? What's happening, you badasses? I like that. Well, I'm doing good. I hope you're doing good as well. Yes, they're at 9 o'clock. D-Rail Gaming says, Yo, Joe, what's up with you, man? How are you doing? We got Eric the Guapo in the house. Good to see you. Headless Bourgeois. Okay, no. I know this hot stuff. I learned how to say this. Bourgeoisie. Is that what it is? Like I said, I'm illiterate. I can't read. These big words, man. Like, they trip me up. You know, it's a curse. But luckily, God decided to make me good looking instead of being able to read. Let me pop you guys chat up here on the screen so we can all see it. There we go. Rick Saylor is in the house. We got here on the Steadfast. I haven't seen you in a second, man. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you. Hail to chat. Hail to you. Your life happens. Joe would have been here sooner, but the duct tape holding the oven door closed melted and opened the oven because his computer caused his computer to overheat and crash. That is very plausible. I do believe that probably could happen. and it's just getting worse. We need to replace that. The door actually almost fell completely off the other day when I was cooking. I forgot about it, and yeah, we need to get that thing replaced. I don't think that's safe to have in the house. We'll find out. The Don's in the chat says, Ronin Joe, what is super or just man? We're going to find out. I'm going to let you guys know for sure. Headless is, thank you. Let's just do that. You know, there's somebody else in the chat that jumps in. I can never pronounce their name. And they're like, just call me Pizza. And I'm like, that's fine. Pizza works. You know, it's a lot easier for me. Yeah. Do me a favor, guys. Wherever you're watching, please hit the like button. Come over to the YouTube channel and chill in the chat with us. Like, subscribe if you haven't yet. Share the show out with people. Let people know we're live. Let's have a good time. All right, let's kill the music and let's get into this. Let's do this. Kill it and get into it. Let's see. I gotta put this back up here for anything. There we go. All right. Great to see you guys. How are you doing tonight? I've been pretty excited. I'll say this. The reason why I've been pretty excited. Couple things. One, I launched the Reaper Destroyer 2 sign-up sheet on, what was it, Tuesday's show, I think it was. And we are already at 100 signups. So I'm very excited about that. So let's keep that going. If you guys have seen that around, word of mouth, share that out. If you haven't signed up for it, sign up for it now. If I have any mods, please drop that into the chat for me, please. And I will pin it up to the top of the chat so you guys can go check that out. But we are trying to launch this book sometime in September. That's the goal. That is the goal. But I've got some things to share with you guys tonight. If you stick around to the end of the show, my inker, Marlo Kiza, who is a fantastic legend in the industry, worked for Extreme Studios, DC's, he's done it all, turned in an inked page where he hasn't mailed it back yet because he inks right over my original pencils, but he sent me a picture of the page. I'm going to show that off tonight. Now, it's not going to be zoomed in. We're not doing any high def and nothing. You're just going to get a sneak peek of the actual page if you stick around to the end of the show. Here on Steadfast says, receive Reaper Destroyer and supplemental up in the asshole of Canada. Looking forward to reading them. Nice, man. Well, thank you for the support for one, and I'm glad that it finally got out to you. Yeah, it did suck. I'm gonna try to find a better way of doing it. Actually, I know I'm gonna do a better way of doing the fulfillment next time around, because I'm gonna go through somebody. Where I did, the first campaign, I want to fulfill it myself. The whole pride thing of it all. It was a big campaign, and I learned a lot. But we're going to do stuff to make it faster next time to get out to, especially the foreign backers. You guys had to wait the longest because we ended up doing the fulfillment for the foreign backers last. So that's not going to happen in the future. We're going to get that. We're going to get the kinks worked out, and we are going to get that to you guys. Let me see here. Let me pin this up to the top of the chat. Rick, thank you. There's the Reaper Destroyer sign-up sheet on Indiegogo. Go check it out. It's pinned up to the top of the YouTube chat. Mobig says, I will accept whatever Joe's opinion of the movie is as long as he doesn't pretend AI CG crypto looked good. Well, yeah, I got some things to say about that. But first, the leaderboard has been updated. Hail the Lord came in as number 1 on the Otten stuff, so he takes a second victory on the leaderboard, tying with Rick Saylor at 2. Michael Virtue's still at number 1. Twisted Dream still at number 1. Mo Big still sitting in the lead overall at number 3. So let's see how we can go with that. What is that, you might ask? Well, if you look into the YouTube chats, there are crowns and numbers by some people's names. What does that mean? I have no idea. YouTube put this thing in place where they keep track, I'm assuming, of the top contributors, top 3 contributors in the chat, whether that's comments, super chats, whatever it might be. I don't know. But you get a number by your name. Whoever ends with the number 1 at the end of the show goes onto the leaderboard. And at the end of the year, we tally everything up. And whoever has the most victories, we're going to do something fun for you guys for supporting the channel and supporting the show. What is this? Don't kick me out. StreamYard's got a new setup. For everybody that streams through StreamYard, you know what I mean. And this is the first time I've seen it. So I hope this just... Okay, good. That didn't kick me. Good. It's completely different. If you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, it's a little throws you off when you know exactly what you're doing. Bancroft threw off the algorithm. He did. I'm convinced of it. I'm convinced because I thought the Mo Biggs was going to come in and nobody was going to top him ever. And he was just going to win, how many ever weeks are left in the year? I can't do math. But no, Bancroft came in, and for some reason, Mo Biggs hasn't won since. Yeah, I've heard a lot of complaints about the new Super or the StreamYards. Yeah, this is the first time I've actually seen it. I heard people talking about it, but it hadn't actually reached mine, I guess, yet, and now it has. So it's not bad. I'm getting used to it. We'll see how it goes. I think once I figure it all out and get used to it, it's probably going to be a better setup. But it's always interesting when they just change things because you're muscle memory. I'm used to just pulling up things and where they're supposed to be, and now they're kind of in different spots. Was there 19 people watching with only 9 likes? That is a great point. Please match whatever is watching live with likes. Make sure you're coming in and hitting that like button. It really does help the show. This channel, it grows slow. We talk about comics here. We talk about some pop culture stuff. I don't really get into a lot of the things that really draw in the big audience. So it's a slow growing channel. So all the likes, comments, the shares, that really does help us as we are going forward. Bonnet Grows in the house says stream. Oh yeah, StreamYard screwed us on the intros and outros. So far, things are looking okay. And as far as that, but the setup is kind of weird. Like everything's out of order. You know, like how I set things up. Everything's in order of the things I use on a regular basis per show. You know, so I can just go there and hit things real quick. And that would kind of threw me off when I jumped in here today. So we'll see how that goes. All right, Jurassic Park. That was last week. Superman. What should we say about Superman? Did anybody go out and see that this weekend? Before I start talking about it. And I'm going to try to do no spoilers on the show. Just for people that haven't seen it yet and do want to see it. Like I'm not the same thing I did with Jurassic Park last week. Talked about it, gave my thoughts, but didn't really, I don't think I did give spoilers. But I'm going to try not to do any spoilers. But I will say, if you watched the trailer many times, you saw this movie. I'll just say that. This is, and I don't usually have this complaint very often. Oh shit, look at that. My man, Headless has become a new member of the channel. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you so much. Let's see, what do we got for the new members? We had old school. We had you guys have been part of this channel for a while. We had this running theme with Bob from Batman, the Batman 1989. And I liked it. It kind of played out after a while. So we kind of dropped it. We moved on to other things, but you know, I'm gonna do that because we haven't done that in a second. So welcome to the channel, my friend, and thank you for the support.
And Bob, remember, you are my number one guy. Yes, sir.
Yes. Welcome to the Bobs. We used to have a Bob emoji and everything for our chat members. I miss Bob. Rest in peace. Kayla says, me and my dad are going Friday. Nice. No, I hope you enjoy it. Just got home from watching it 2 hours ago. Sweet. Tell me what you think. Let's try not to do spoilers in the chat. But I want to know what you guys think as well, besides what I'm just going to put out there. David is in the house. David Williams, my friend, says, I've seen that bullshit. I like that. I like that. Well, did you like it? Or was it bullshit? Oh, my man. Heath Ward, Cosmic Studios, is in the house. Member of the channel. Great to see you.
Afternoon. Stinks like sex in here.
Yes, it does. As it should. As it should. All right. Let me, you guys are rock and roll in the chat. I love that. I love seeing you. Oh, here we go. Shani, member of the channel, is in the house as well. Great to see you. You know what? Because I love this girl so much. And she has been such a big part of the channel for so long. We used to play a specific video when she would do a super chat, but I'm just going to play this now when she gets in because she's family here, you know?
Hello, Eugenia.
You're the king. Oh! You are a bastard.
Yeah!
Let me help you up.
I guess I deserve that.
Oh, I just had to kick you in the diddly again.
Nut crunching dick kicks. That's what we're about here. If you guys haven't yet, please drop some ducks into the chat. I've seen Kayla do it. I did it. Shani's doing it. That's just something we do when Shani comes in. If you guys are new to the chat, that's just what we do to say hi to Shani. Drop those ducks in the chat. I want to see the mallards. Let's go. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's do this. The trailer of Superman revealed quite a bit, and I was actually really surprised that was the case, because remember the complaint when Deadpool Wolverine came out and everyone was like, oh, you're showing too much in the trailer and all this kind of stuff, and they really only showed, for the most part, the first like 40 minutes of the film, but they left a lot to be revealed on screen. besides that big fight at the end, right? They showed a little bit of that in the trailer. This movie, I feel like, shows the entire movie. And that was the only thing. I kept sitting there in the theater waiting for a twist, waiting for something to be revealed that hadn't been revealed. And there is a twist in the movie, and no spoilers, but if you have been paying attention, it's out there. You could guess it, right? So it was not a twist, it was not a surprise. You kind of, it's just, if you're a Superman fan, you're watching it and you're like, okay, I know what this is going to be. And it turns out that's what it is. And it's not a surprise. So that kind of killed it for me. Overall, let's see, I thought Green Lantern stole the show for me. Guy Gardner was better than I thought he was going to be. All right. Complaints that I had going into this movie. I thought it was going to be, and look, I like James Gunn. I like Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. I did not like the Suicide Squad movie he did. And I wasn't a big fan of Peacemaker. Never really watched the show. It didn't click with me. And so I was worried that we were going to get kind of more of the same Gunn humor, kind of like this dirty, dick and fart jokes kind of humor with Superman. And based on a lot of the trailers that we had seen come out, I was like, all right, we're heading in that direction. All the stuff you saw with Crypto, the interactions between Lois Lane and Guy Gardner, or Green Lantern, because I don't think they actually call him Guy Gardner in the movie. I was just like, all right, this is just going to be joke after joke after joke. This is my worry. And I have to say, happily, I didn't think it was that bad. I went into the movie and I was like, all right, this isn't actually as bad as I thought it was going to be. Yes, it is a very, very much a lighter tone to Superman than we have been witness to with the Snyderverse. And if you like the Snyderverse, which I did, and you like that kind of darker take on the characters and the world and the more serious Superman, you probably won't like this movie. Now, that being said, I just like Superman. I've liked it since the Christopher Reeves movies when I was a kid. They came out before I was born. But, when I was younger, that was the first time I actually got to see any superhero movies. And it really was only Superman. And then later, Batman came on with, Tim Burton's Batman. So I'm just a huge fan of Superman. I like Superman Returns, even though it's not really that good of a movie. It doesn't stand the test of time when you go back and watch it. But I liked, was it Brandon Routh performance? I thought that was pretty good. But as a movie, it just kind of fell flat for me. But I love Superman. Love Lois and Clark Superman. Just anything Superman, give it to me. Which is why I was very worried going into this movie that it was just going to be really bad. And I was going to have to hate this movie and hate a character that I absolutely love. Oh shit. Oh, where is that? My girl, Shani, gifted 5 memberships to the channel. Let me catch up with you in the, hold on a second. YouTube. There you are. Picked up by the Don, Bionic Ra, Eric Guapel, Jay Lee, and Jeremiah Blackwell. Welcome, guys. Oh no, I'm sorry. Derail Gaming picked us up. Thank you, guys, or thank you, Shani, for that. And welcome to the channel, guys. One thing I did for the members last time was when I was working on Reaper the Story issue 1, I did sneak peeks in the community stuff. And I showed you what I was working on from sketch to finish art and as the book progressed. And I didn't know if I was going to do that this time around. Maybe I will. Let me know if you guys still want to do something like that, and I will. But shout out to Shani for putting that in there. Let's we're going to do this because I just want to move on with the show, but thank you.
Get to the chopper!
Yes. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And thank you for the support for everybody out there that's gifted memberships to this channel. That's really kind of the way the memberships kind of grow on this channel is people come in here and gift them out. So that's awesome. Thank you so much. Wolverine's in the house. Look at that. I hated this fucking movie. Is that what David said? I missed it. The chat's going quick tonight. Duck this movie. Star Wars, Marvel purists in the house. Categorically, everything about this movie is worse than Man of Steel regarding of one's feelings about the movie. That's a good point. I want clear and conscious reasons that this movie is hopeful. Oh, talking point only. Okay, let's just jump to the what's up, Hojo? Good to see dropping those. I like that. Thank you, guys. I'm way behind on the chat, guys. You guys are going good tonight. Talking tonight. Appreciate it. If I missed any of these shout outs, that is my bad. We got Jay Lee in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you guys. Yeah. So yeah, keep on talking. That's awesome. I'll try to catch up with you. My first Superman was George Reeves in black and white. Damn, I'm old. That is a while back. I have to say that's but hey, that's cool though. You can You're one of the few people, David, that can sit there and be like, I've seen all of the Supermen, and I was there and I did it. That's a hell of an accomplishment, Old as it might be, that is a hell of an accomplishment. All right, jump to the chase here. I actually enjoyed the movie. Now, with that being said, there's a lot of things wrong with it that I didn't like, which I can go into, but let me give you the positives right off the bat. Just let's do that. How about it? Because it doesn't always have to be negative. Let's talk about some of the positives here. I actually thought David Cornsweet did a good job as Superman. Now, the writing is what it is. It's much like Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is my favorite Superman. The writing wasn't necessarily the greatest, right? So I don't think he was able to actually portray the character like he even wanted to, or the fan base kind of wanted to. This could be the same way with David Cornsweet. I thought he did a really good job of pulling off the ultra Boy Scout version of Superman that is a version that we've seen in the comics. Like this is the whole complaint I see with people on X and social media when we're talking about so many different versions of Superman depending on the writers throughout the decades. And some people like, the serious version, the campy version, whatever, so everybody has an excuse to point back to whatever decade, whatever book they want and be like, that's my Superman. That's the real Superman. Well, it really depends on who's writing them. And who's writing this time around is James Gunn. Now, he did a good job of keeping that kind of that hopeful character, the never kill character, save everybody character, just want to do right, even in the eyes of people that it might appear to be wrong, and keep on fighting, right until the end. I thought he pulled that off really good. I did kind of like the fact that they would go out of their way to make sure that Superman didn't swear in the movie, and he did the whole the old, gosh darn, garly, whatever that stuff is. I can't say because I swear too much. So that he wouldn't even say anything that was resembling a swear word. I thought that actually played off pretty well. One of the reasons why I took my daughter to the film, because I'd heard so much that it was kind of more kid friendly. And I was like, okay, it's a good way to introduce my daughter to Superman. She knows who the character is, but she's never been able to really watch any current Superman movie. And I had never had a chance to show her the old movies. And she's too busy watching Frozen and stuff. So I took her to the movie and she actually really liked it. And I thought for the most part, it played to that crowd. So if that's where you're gearing it to, more family, more PG-13, younger crowd, that works, yeah, dag nabbit. There you go. Not swearing is hard. It is, dude. I've spent my life perfecting the art of swearing. Now, I've actually do a pretty good job on the show of not swearing as much as I probably usually do, or as much as I did when I was the front man for a heavy metal band. But that's all you do when you get on stage. You say the F word every other word. How the fuck are you fuckers doing tonight? You ready to fucking throw the fuck down? Let's fucking go. That's the kind of stuff you do. It just comes out naturally, So to break that over a number of years, it's kind of hard. I'm doing my best for you guys. This is a family show, So David Cornsweet was pretty good. I sign off of him. I liked him as Superman. I thought he did real. The suit, as much as I hate it, did not look as bad as I thought it was going to look on screen. I don't know if they touched it up digitally with the After Effects or whatever they did. There were some times it still looked clunky in certain camera angles or whatever. I thought it still was kind of off, but some of the like shoulder up shots, I thought it worked decently. I'm still not a big fan of the suit, but it wasn't something that kind of took me out of the movie. One of the major pluses in the movie, and I've seen other people talk about this, and I was kind of iffy about this. I was like, I'll see if this is actually true when I go watch the movie. And it was. Mr. Terrific was cool. That character stole the show in a lot of ways. In fact, I think he had some more impressive moments in the movie than Superman did in his own movie. And that to me is a little bit of a negative when you're trying to build up Superman, as the main character, this main powerful guy. But Mr. Terrific did a really good job. If I get a chance, depending on how the show goes, I'm going to talk about an article that actor had coming out, because if you guys don't remember, he was in X-Men First Class, which I actually forgot about that. I was like, oh shit, that was him. And he had some things to say about some stuff, and we'll cover that possibly. That was a plus. Lois, or the chick that played Lois, was fine. A lot of the casting was good. Let's just say that. A lot of the casting was good. The charisma was good. It played off pretty well. Guy Gardner was fun. the Justice Gang thing, it was a played out joke. They kept saying it over and over again. It was funny like the first time, but we knew it was coming because of the trailers. But then it was just one of those things like, boom, you had to do it like 3 or 4 times throughout the show. And it's like, we don't need to, or the movie, you don't need to repeat it so much throughout. It's like, we get it. You know, it's a played out joke. Let's move on from it. I'm a construction worker. Cussing is like breathing. There you go. Rick knows. Rick knows. Every word Corn Sweat spoke was delivered in a whiny voice, and the suit is unforgivable. And I won't argue with that. But I do, like I said, I do think it's to the writing of the character. And unfortunately, the actors sometimes are handcuffed with the scripts that they have, the way that they're being directed. You know, it's the same thing I think with Henry Cavill in the Zack Snyder movies, you know. So there's some positives right there, right? I thought the action was pretty decent. You know, they tried to do some different things that they haven't done before in Superman movies, you know, as far as fight scenes or whatever. Here are the bad things about the movie. And again, I'm trying not to spoil, so I really apologize. I'm trying to tiptoe around some of this stuff, even though most of the stuff was in the trailer anyway. The plot of the movie is nothing. People complain all the time about like the plot of Deadpool Wolverine, which by the way, that movie was designed to be just a fun romp, you know, foul humor and foul mouth and all that shit. That's all that was supposed to be. A lot of fighting, a lot of blood, a lot of funny stuff. Didn't need a lot of plot. I feel like a movie like Superman needs more plot than what was given. I mean, well, I don't know. I might not be able to say that because that might be a spoiler. Just know that the plot is very thin. It's more like an excuse to do something than an actual plot of the movie. James Gunn starts the movie off with a information dump, which normally I don't really mind. You know, it's kind of just, I saw an interview with James Gunn's talking about like everyone knows the origin of Superman, and that's true. You know, pop culture, you've been around for a while. You know the origin of Superman. We don't need to cover that yet again. We just did that 13, 14 years ago with Man of Steel. But they do this information dump about Superman, these, you know, different decades and stuff, you know, ticking down to the presence. And what I didn't like is that they just threw so much at you. And then the movie just starts. There's no like ease into the movie. It just starts. That scene in the trailer where he's falling out of the sky into Antarctica and he's all beaten up and bloody and bruised, and he calls for Crypto to save him. And then they take him to the Solitude, their Fortress of Solitude. And then he gets the sun blast, you know, the treatment from the yellow sun. That is all that scene. That trailer completely showed almost the entire scene of the beginning of the movie. Like, that's crazy to me when you actually watch the trailer. And I'm gonna have to watch it again because I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I know everything that's coming because I've seen a lot of this stuff in the trailers. And it kind of progresses that way, which is really insane to me. If you're putting together a trailer, leave some kind of imagination, because there's so much beat for beat in order that the movie is going that you are showing the potential crowd that's going to go watch it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, I know what's going to happen next. It's going to happen next. And it pretty much did. So that's a big complaint to me, that the story was very thin. The plot was thin. And then the movie was just pretty much out there. I didn't think that anything was new that I was seeing. There's also, we've seen, and I'm going to cover a lot of stuff that's in the trailer, so this is not spoilers. You see the engineer going into the Fortress of Solitude and beating up the robots and like all this, destroying all the robots, destroying shit. And that happens like within the first 20 minutes of the movie. Crypto being kidnapped, first 20 minutes of the movie. This is nothing new. This is all stuff that they've shown either in trailers or clips that they put out there. But the movie starts so fast and just puts you right into things and gives you an information dump of what's going on, and boom, here we are. And then it's just like we follow this within a span of like 2 days or whatever that this entire movie maybe takes place in, maybe a little bit longer, but it's pretty much in there. And it's just go forward. You know, there's really no plot, no story, which honestly, a lot of times I don't care about because I just want to be entertained. But you know, that is what it is. But we see this right off the bat. The robot characters, the jokes fell flat for me. It was jokes I'd seen or heard tons of times before. My daughter liked it. You know, I mean, it appealed to a young 6-year-old that was seeing the movie, right? That's kind of how it appealed. Hawk World was terrible. Didn't read that. Oh, the comic? Yeah, I didn't read that either. The fisheye camera angles for every fight scene drove me nuts. That was another thing too. I'm just gonna kind of jump all over the place because things I'm trying to bring back the stuff that I just saw 4 or 5 hours ago. Yeah, there was a lot of those, the fisheye camera angles I didn't like. It didn't work for Hawkgirl. That one scene Jeremiah, you probably know what I'm talking about, and I don't want to spoil something in the third act of the film where they do a spotlight on that character. She does something that's supposed to be pretty cool and heroic and all this stuff. And the scenes they were showing her face just looked weird and distorted. It didn't look good at all, and it just made the character look very unattractive and just I don't know, deformed. It did not work. I wish they would pull back from that. One shot here or there is fine, but there was just too much reliance on it. Too much reliance. The robots, anyway, they go through that scene and they get destroyed or whatever. And they do that within the first few minutes to a point where you don't even get a chance to get attached to these characters. Why does Superman care about these characters? Even though they're robots, but you can still get emotionally attached. I mean, R2D2, right? I mean, you can get emotionally attached to androids, robots, whatever, if you present them in the right way. And it's kind of like they presented them. They had some funny jokes, and then boom, we destroyed them, and we're supposed to feel like sorry or sorrowful of this event that just happened. And I thought it didn't give you enough time to really let you know who characters were and how they meant to certain people before they started doing like these big things. Crypto wasn't as bad as I thought Crypto was going to be. I'm sorry for it. Was it Mo whoever said that? I'm not defending Crypto at all. I don't like the fact that he was completely CGI. I don't know why you couldn't use a real dog within some of those scenes, then get the CGI stuff for more like the super stuff. But they played on the annoying untrained puppy trope way too much. Way too much. Like the beginning of the film where he's coming to rescue Superman and he gets there and he doesn't understand what's going on. He starts pouncing on Superman and trying to play while Clark is laying there, broken and bleeding. And the crowd in the theater, they laughed. It was funny. I see how it could play. But they did that multiple times throughout the films. Like at some point, that's got to be written different. Like you can't do that same scene, I want to say at least 2 more times in the film, in important parts of the film where you're trying to get this dog to understand something is going on that's important, that you need to focus, you need to do something to act heroic, and it just does the puppy stuff. Now I get it, it's just a dog, and people are going to be like, that's how dogs act, and blah, blah, blah. I understand it. I've never been a big Crypto fan. I don't know his history in the comics, so people can at me, in the comments and all that kind of stuff to let me know how much of a tourist I am for Crypto. But if you're going to have a dog with superhero powers, can work to the plot a little bit better than what they did. I haven't seen the movie about Crypto. In the trailer, blew me away. Finally, we have a technology to see what a dog looks like. The effects were fine. The complaint about the CGI was not warranted in my mind. I thought the CGI actually was pretty decent. There were some shots that I think could have used better rendering, but I think they put the focus on the stuff where it was important. Hawker was supposed to be a redhead. Yeah, and she was a brunette in this. A mutt in place of a golden retriever hurts. Yeah, I heard that that was kind of fashioned after James Gunn's own dog. I guess he has a real love for dogs, which was fine. I love dogs. Dogs are great, But this just, yeah, I don't know. It was overdone. I have to say it again. I hated that dog so much that not only wanted it to die, I wanted to watch it. God. Real life dog sucks. I'll disagree with that, man, because there's been plenty of dog actors. Or are you talking about just in general, like real life dogs, like dogs you deal with, the CGI better? Okay, that's fine. Some people aren't dog lovers. I get that. But as far as the acting goes, I would have liked to have seen an actual dog cast in that film. Or you might get that in Supergirl's. Oh, yeah. We're not going to spoil. We're not going to spoil. As much as I'm trying not to here. Jay Lee says, Crypto, if it was, say, under 2 years old and who the owner is, makes sense. Yeah, they explained it, right? My point is that they played on it too much, and it was more annoying, right? I took it as more annoying. The scene in the beginning, you could laugh, you could be like, oh, that's funny, puppy. And then the next scene you see, you're like, okay, that's, dog owners. We all understand a puppy. But at some point, if you're going to take this dog out and he's going to do things, like do something right. And he never does. The things that he does in the film, I think he almost does by accident because he's a puppy, and it just kind of works in his favor until one scene at the very end. So that's my biggest complaint. I would have had the dog done something a little bit more heroic that snaps him out of this puppiness. And you can really be like, yeah, like that scene was awesome. Remember that crypto scene in Superman? That was awesome. And it just didn't go. I don't know. There's people, trust me, there's people out there that don't love dogs. Yeah. I like dogs, random small dogs, aren't real dogs. The dog was just a destructive menace. It was, by all measures, a bad dog. Yeah, yeah. I think that was the running joke, but it was overplayed and overdone. I don't think it worked well for me. I was like, okay, we get it. Let's move on. Saw Mark Waid at a con recently. He thought Gunn made crypto a mutt to encourage kids to being open to adopting different breeds. Interesting, I guess. Crypto needs to be well trained in order to work. See, I agree with that. I agree. Yeah, monsters. I do agree with that. In the comics, crypto is very well trained dog. See, and that's what I was saying. And again, I'm not an expert in crypto at all, but the times I've seen depictions of him, he's been well trained. And it's like they went in the opposite way for the comedy wise. Whatever, that's fine. It was a con for me instead of a pro for the movie. Another thing I didn't like about the movie, there's something they do with Kal-El's parents, with Jor-El, and I can never remember his mom's name, that I really didn't like. Now, it's been out there. I'm not going to say it on stream in case it is a spoiler, but it has been making its rounds through social media, so you probably have seen it, and you probably know what I'm talking about. And I just didn't think it was necessary. It's like the same. It's like what was the Joker, right? With not Phoenix, he passed away. Joaquin Phoenix, where they had to make Thomas Wayne kind of like a morally gray character. You're leaning on like kind of a bad character. They took that character from what he's supposed to do, and they turned him into something else. They did that. James Gunn did that with his parents, and I didn't like it. Did it ruin the movie for me? No. Did it make sense in the way that they were moving the plot forward? I guess it did make sense, but it was almost like they put it in there purely for that reason, where they could have come up with a better reason, or they could have explained it away differently at the end of the movie. So I'm never a big fan of taking lore and taking characters that are supposed to be, honored, so to speak, in the lore of Superman, and then giving them a different twist to make it something they're not. So I didn't like that. I liked that twist. I wasn't sure at first. Really? Okay. But did she manipulate it, or was it what the best? Well, without going into spoilers, I mean, I'm pretty sure they confirmed multiple times throughout that movie, multiple different characters, it was real. So unless they come back in the second movie and dispute all that, I have to think that that's the intention. And I think they did that specifically, to be honest with you, is because they wanted to put more focus on the earthly family, Mom, Pa, Kent, with Clark, than the birth family of Kal-El. And you get, if you guys saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. At the very end of the movie, they do that big thing, right? Which they touched on in the beginning of the movie, and they do it at the end of the movie, and now it's different. And you're like, okay, I can see where they're going. But they didn't really, in my opinion, have to shit on his birth parents lore-wise to lift up Mom, Pa, Kent. That just wasn't necessary. You don't need to do it. You can already lift up Mom, Pa, Kent because they are those just true good people. Right, that's what they represent, and that's who raised Clark Kent. One thing I also didn't like about the Kents, they leaned a little bit too much into the kind of dumb Southerner aspect of the characters, right? And it was for comedy wise, right? Like there was a point where Clark was talking to Ma Kent on the phone, and she's like leaning over the table real close, talking real loud into the phone because she doesn't know how to use it. The actor that plays Pa Kent, I've seen him around a bunch of times. I don't know his name, forgive me. He's a good actor, and he was just, for the most part, he had one good scene where they had a touching moment between Pa Kent and Clark Kent, which you were to be expected in a movie like this, and he delivered it well. It was a good scene, but overall, they kind of played that character to be kind of mushy, and again, they looked and sounded dumb to me, not like smart people, not like upstanding, respectable, hardworking people. They kind of played them off as a little bit of a joke. And I don't know why they did that. If you're going to do that with Jor-El and then you're still going to portray Mom and Pa Kent the way they did. So that was something I just didn't like in the writing. And again, this is all writing based on things that I think should have been portrayed better. Now you might come at me with Snyder's versions of Mom and Pa Kent and whatever. That's fine. It's just a personal opinion I have of the characters and what I would have liked to have seen different, I guess. I suspect that Pam Bondi wrote Joe's crypto looked great speech. I was not a big fan of that Liberty gun, or of that Liberty. Oh, the Liberty gun took. Yeah. You know, and it's every filmmaker is going to do it. And I just kind of expect it nowadays. Like, you got to do something different. I get that. It wasn't what I would have done. They confirmed multiple times. It's not. Yeah. No, it was real. It's real. Yeah. Luther. Yeah. He even changes the clip of his parents. Okay. I don't want to get into that too much, getting into spoilers, but I do believe that it's all real. Hey, Katie Did's in the house. What's going on? She says, hey, Joe, just stopping by to say hello. Hope you were doing well. Thank you. You as well. And appreciate the shout outs you've been doing on your channel and some of the coverage of certain things going on with Reaper Destroyer. I appreciate it. Thank you. But remember, she said it was fragmented and she could. Yeah, but so we could say that, right? But why then would they never confirm it? If that's going to be something they're going to do and be such a big plot twist at the 30-minute mark of that movie, really kind of setting that movie going forward, why wouldn't you undo that later on? And they didn't. They had every opportunity to. In fact, all they did was back it up. Luther says it. Mr. Fantastic says it. Superman eventually confirms that that's true. Like, it's this true thing. So, like, I feel like that's really what it is. It was just a twist that Gunn wanted to put on that particular part of his origin that for shock and awe, I think works, but I didn't like it. So I think it's real. And until somebody proves it's not in another movie, that was absolutely legit. So as we know how Lex was doing with social media, she could have done it. Yeah. No, I mean, she definitely could have. I see what you guys are saying, but I don't think so. I think that was all legit and it was meant to be that way. I hated wasting my time with the end credits. Oh, dude, me too. I sat there because everyone's like, it's got 2 end credit scenes. And I'm just letting you guys know now, if you go see it, you don't have to wait for it. Wait till it gets to streaming or whatever and fast forward, because they have nothing to do with a future movie or a character coming in or anything. It's 2, like, one is like literally 10 seconds. And the other one is it's a comedy thing. It's just a comedy thing. That's all it is. Does nothing to move the movies forward. Not like what Marvel did back in the first phase. And then again, the Kents, while what Pa tells Clark is fine, are portrayed as fat, stupid people who barely know how yeah, exactly. Yeah, I must be really behind in the chat with you guys. Let me skip forward. But yeah, that's exactly what they did. I did not like that, the way they portrayed the Kents. Philosophical differences between a Pa Kent and Jor-El is much more intellectual and nuanced in Man of Steel than what was done in this movie. I actually like the way that Snyder portrayed both characters and both father figures in Man of Steel. Jor-El was a heroic figure, that sacrificed himself for the good of others and sent his son to, have a better chance at life and to go to a place where he was going to be able to thrive. That's a great trait in a father. And Kevin Costner's portrayal, even though a little bit more heavy-handed and came more from a sense of like worry of protecting his son, maybe a little bit more protective than people liked, I like that as well. And it's something that he had to overcome in that movie. Be like his dad, find the in-between of the two, I thought it worked very well. Yeah, from translators hired by who was the first to put the video out? Luther. No, he was, but if Mr. Terrific is going, think about this. Mr. Terrific and all his technology, he's called Mr. Terrific. He confirmed it. And he said that can't be doctored, right? If he's saying it, then that's me thinking that James Gunn is putting his stamp of approval that is legit. And to me, that was just for a shock and awe, to push the plot going forward, to turn people against Superman. If you guys seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'm trying not to spoil it for you. So did I. I gave Man of Steel 8 out of 10. This movie 4.5 out of 10. I loved Man of Steel. I thought that was great. I thought it was great. What we got here? Wife can say I have to stop drawing and watching your show to eat dinner. I'll be right back. All right, brother. Enjoy your dinner. Enjoy your dinner. Statistical zeros in the house. Both versions seem to be people from the city writing country farmers. The best Kents are found on the TV shows or the old couple in Wolverine Origins. I would agree with you on that. Yeah, I would say that because I did not like the portrayal of everybody. Let me take a check at the YouTube chat real quick. We have Rick Saylor is in second place. This thing is weird. I see all these comments, and I can't see who is still. Mark Penguin, I think, was number one when we first jumped in the chat. And maybe he still is. I don't know how they're doing this, but it is what it is, I guess. It is what it is. So I lost my train of thought when we are going off on certain things, but that's the Jor-El thing. I did not like. I thought it was what it was. The kaiju in the movie, I hated. I hated that scene. I hated it so much. It could have been so badass to have Superman fight a giant kaiju in the middle of Metropolis. I'm 9. I'm number 9 somehow. Fudge detected. Schemes and scams. I know. Is Bancroft in the chat? Did he jump in here somewhere? Did he throw off the algorithm again? I will say that the shock was someone showing up at the end and not in the post credits. Yeah, I guess so. But you know what? They spoiled that too. That clip made its way onto line. I don't know if they did it or somebody else put it out, but that got spoiled. So I already knew that was coming. And maybe it would have played better if I didn't know it was coming. Well, we'll see. It sets up the next movie that they're going to do, which you guys can figure it out. But yeah, the kaiju thing was a real big miss. It was a big miss that could have been a lot better. And it literally was like 5 minutes of the movie. And I think you saw most of it in the trailer. Again, going back to that whole thing, you saw most of it in the trailer of this fight scene. It was the way to kind of introduce the Justice Gang. And that was a running joke that kind of got old pretty quick. The first time you hear it, funny, you gotta laugh, And Nathan Killian, is that his name? Guy Gardner was actually pretty funny in this movie. I was a little worried. I like the actor, but for some of the stuff I'd seen in the previews, I was a little worried how his character was going to come off. And he did it well. He did. I have no complaints with Guy Gardner as I thought I was going to in the movie. Hawk Girl, on the other hand, I thought was a waste of screen time. It was almost just to have another character in there. She really didn't do much for the movie. And she had one scene where she did something I thought you weren't supposed to do in these movies. And that was played off for laughs as well. We got Tartan Ninja in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Hail Joe and hail the chat. Hail to you. Hail to you. But yeah, the kaiju was a huge miss. It was. And you saw the entire scene. The dog scene, where Superman's trying to save him from being crushed, saving the girl. It just, I don't know. It played it looked so damn goofy, and it was meant to be goofy. And the scene that set that up was meant to be funny. And to me, I just didn't think it was funny at all. Now, granted, I'm going into this movie not wanting so much of a big comedy, and I'm biased in that way. Like, I don't mind funny one-liners and things that make me laugh within a movie, but I want something that's going to have some drama and some things that make me wonder, like, oh shit, are they going to go there? And this movie was not that. It was really a comedy movie. Even the fight scenes, even some of there was one dramatic scene involving Lex Luthor, and I'm gonna get to Luthor here in a second, and Superman, that was really good. And I was like, all right, this is a good tone for the movie. I'm like, let's do more of this. Like, you were actually showing me that there's a real threat here, and that I'm supposed to be worried about this character doing things that are going to cross the line, but it just didn't mesh with the rest of the movie, and maybe you guys in the chat, you know what I'm talking about. What did you think of that? It was a good scene. I liked it, but it just seemed like kind of out of place for everything we saw. Like, you want to go a little bit dark just for a second, and then we're going to pull it back to funsy again right after that, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Paul Sarts is in the house. What's going on, man? The Hall of Justice was tight. Was that what that was? Was the Hall of Justice? Because they didn't really say that, did they? I guess I wasn't even paying attention. I guess that was. Doing good, jumping on for the stream while I work. All right, brother. Sounds good. I love it. Love when artists and creative people jump in here just to listen, hang out, and do some work. Appreciate that. Justice for Peanut. Who was Peanut? Oh, now I'm losing it. There was a squirrel that was saved in that scene. It was very important to that scene. Yeah, that was a big waste of time in my opinion. You could have not had that in the movie and it would have been completely fine. So, listen, overall, I liked the movie, which is funny because I'm telling you all my cons here. I told you the things I liked about it, and there's way more things apparently that I didn't like about it. Overall, I did like the movie. Was it a good movie? No. It's a funny thing to say, to like a movie and to not have it be a good movie. The reason why it wasn't a good movie is there's just so many things that were wrong about it that they could have just done better. They could have just done better. And the twist at the end was you saw it coming from a mile away. They almost give it away in the first 20 minutes when you guys know what I'm talking about, when they enter the Fortress of Solitude and they just walk right in there. That kind of gave the twist right off the bat of what they were going to do later on in the movie. And it's almost like you're not trying to hide anything. Now, I thought they were going to do something like introduce Brainiac or I guess, okay. No spoilers. Even going into theories of what I wish they would do. I really don't want to spoil it for people. I hate that when that happens. You go on a show and get spoiled. You're waiting to see it. So that's my bad. That squirrel, yeah, that was a good scene. Peanut the squirrel. Okay, so it was the squirrel. Yeah. Well, he lived. Oh, you see, I missed it. I also had my daughter sitting right next to me, and every once in a while she'd be asking what's going on. So I'd turn my head and talk to her and try to explain stuff. So I might have missed that when he went in there. It's very much not a good movie. The fresh off the disappointment, it takes time to realize it sucked completely. See, I won't go that far. I won't say it sucked completely. There are things I liked about it to a point where I'm still interested when they make a sequel. I want to see, do they correct some of these things going forward with the next movie? Will the plot be better? Here's the thing I want to see with another Superman movie. We've seen the whole Lex Luthor versus Superman stuff to death. They just did that, 20 years ago with Superman Returns. And that movie was fine for what it was, but it was just the same old Lex Luthor versus Superman. I don't want to see that anymore. We've seen it to death. I think pop culture has seen it to death. Let's move on to something else, something bigger. That's one of the things I liked about Man of Steel is they didn't deal with the Lex Luthor character. They brought him in with Batman versus Superman, and yes, I was not a big fan of that, the way that character was portrayed either, but it wasn't as centered around Superman and Lex Luthor. It's overplayed. It's done. The guy that played Lex Luthor, I don't remember his name. He's the dude who played Beast in X-Men First Class and all those movies. I thought he did a good job for the character being portrayed. I thought he did a good job of just being a dislikable character. He had one scene that was really good and just kind of drove home the fact that he was a piece of shit. And that I wish they had kind of kept that tone throughout the entire movie with that character. You want to be funny and campy with the rest of this stuff. You want to portray Superman as, the Boy Scout and kind of the more innocent thinking kind of person. And then contrast that with Lex Luthor's really evilness. And I don't think that really came across except for that one scene. And so otherwise the acting was fine. The way the movie ended though, I could have done a better ending. I'm sure Lex is coming back, but they could have done something better with his character at the end. And again, it was something that was played for laughs. I get it. A lot of the movie would go with beats, right? You do the comedy beat, you do a dramatic beat that really wasn't all that dramatic. You do some action, and then you follow it up again with comedy, and you repeat as the movie goes. It was very formula as far as that goes. Now that would be cool. See, I know Lobo is being brought in the Supergirl movie, and I gotta imagine he's either going to have his own movie at some point or they're going to use him again because a popular character, Jason Momoa is playing him. That would be a good fight. So I hope they do something with that, but not the plot of the second movie. Like, give me something bigger, give me something grander, give me Darkseid, give me Brainiac. We've been wanting Brainiac for the longest time. Bring Brainiac in. Let's go. Do something more with that. Lobo or not Lobo. What's the character's name? Help me out here, chat. Who is the doppelganger of Superman? Why am I drawing a blank on his name? Bring me that character in. I thought they were almost going to do that with this, and they went a different direction. Now, main man going to kill Ruthie and women of tomorrow and begin Supergirl's Red Lantern run. There you go. Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Bizarro, yes. See, I know you guys are on. I have these brain farts. Too many drugs over too many years and too much headbanging in my youth. And I'm telling you, I was a violent performer on stage as a front man for a band called My Enemies Fall. You can go on YouTube, you can look it up, you can watch performances, you'll see. Like I was trying to throw my neck or my head off of my body when I was younger, thinking to myself, none of this is going to affect me when I get older. Like I am invincible right now in my 20s. And I definitely do think I've got some kind of brain damage. They say that brain moves around in your skull and you're mushing all your brain, your sides. And now here I am, 43 years old and doing a live show. I'm trying to think of words sometimes and characters sometimes. It's just a pure blank. Oh, did you really? Oh, see, I'm rubbing off on you. Yeah, you did. But I didn't even catch it. That's the funny thing. I didn't even catch it. Wolverine did, though. I like that. Main man collecting rare species for Brainiac runs into Kryptonian that runs back to Earth. Bring in Brainiac. Hey, I like that. It's a good plot idea. If they're going that direction, good. But give me something better in Superman 2. That's all I'm saying. Superman 1 was fine for what it was. Lex Luthor was fine. The characters were fine. But there was nothing that was done that was anything that I wasn't expecting. In fact, there were things done that I wish, hadn't been done. And that's kind of what brings down the score for me. I was thinking about this when I left the theater. It's like, what am I going to give this movie? I was originally going to give it a 7 because there were things I actually liked about it quite a bit. I thought it got the essence of Superman correct. I thought Corn Sweat did a good job as that character, as that hopeful kind of symbol, almost innocent in the way that you're thinking when it comes to just saving people. And he was just a character that from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie kept getting knocked down and getting back up and going forward. The Rocky aspect, like that's exactly what it was. But part of that I didn't like. At the very beginning, they say he's the most powerful metahuman on planet Earth. And then they do something right off the bat to make him weak. And then the rest of the movie, he is dealing with that weakness. To me, I want to see that Superman be the most powerful metahuman or meta being on Earth. That's Superman. Everyone's like, well, that gets boring, because he's overpowered. I don't give a shit. That's Superman, man. Find a different way to make something interesting, but keep that powerful character the way it should be. He did get his ass kicked way too much in this movie. Way too much. Too many. And like right off the bat, Gunn, what are you thinking, man? Like, why do you introduce your character broken and beaten, and then you heal him up, which we've all seen this in the trailers, with the sun, and then he goes back into the fray? You don't even get to see the beginning of the fight. You just get told that he lost his first battle. No spoiler. That's just what it is. You don't see it. You're just told it happens, and you see the aftermath. Then he gets healed up by the sun. He's not fully healthy. He goes back into the fight and instantly gets his ass kicked again. We don't even see Superman win a battle until we don't even see Superman win a battle in the movie, which is crazy to me. In the Superman movie, that he doesn't have that final moment where he is the guy. He's constantly being saved. I don't like that. You don't have to do that to make me relate to Superman in any kind of way. That's not the Superman I want to see. Sorry, Joe, I can't agree. He was whiny, petulant, not terribly bright, soft. I've heard a lot of people say that. I look at it a little bit different. I almost feel like his moral compass and not ideology keeps him that way, right? But I think that allows you room in the character to grow, if that's what you're intending to do in the next few movies, to show like maybe maybe we see a movie or a scene where he goes a little off the handle or something. DC has pretty mid characters to pick from that hasn't been used to death. Lobo is dope, but needs to be an R-rated movie or it'll suck. No, I agree with that. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. I mean, they did Suicide Squad, just with James Gunn, that was R-rated. So I could definitely see him showing up in Supergirl, doing his thing, having his own movie, being heavy R-rated, going for that Deadpool crowd, the fourth wall breaking stuff, and ultra violent, all that kind of stuff. And I could see that, and I could see that doing very well. I literally looked at his first appearance today. It was fresh in my brain. What are we talking about? I don't know. The animated Superman series was pretty underpowered in that reignited popularity of characters. I didn't watch that series. I'll say that. So I just remember clips of that series. The one clip that's always popular goes around with him, talking about Darkseid, about how he's holding back. Because if he ever let loose, he would kill somebody. It would be bad, and so I don't know. Was he underpowered in that series, or was he holding himself back? In this movie, he was underpowered because of specific reasons. Don't worry. No spoilers. I'm trying not to, man. That's not really a spoiler, though. Maybe it is. How did I jump from the 9th to the 2nd? Oh, there you go. Let's go. Mo Biggs is number 1. Number 1 in the chat. Mo Biggs took the lead after 2 weeks. Rick Saylor fell to 3. Number 2 is Mo Biggs as well. Where's the other number 2? Rick Saylor. Oh, you guys jumped there. But yeah, Mo Biggs, number 1 from what I'm seeing here. Pretty cool. We got Corey Barton in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Superman has a great rogues gallery. They can pull anyone and make fun movie. I agree. And they need to, because we've seen too much of the same stuff for too long now, over how many years? 30, 40 years of Superman movies. My math is probably even way off, because I always think I'm younger than I am. Tarek? Is that a thing? Tank Ferret is in the house. What's going on, man? Good to see you. That cardboard speech was from Justice League Unlimited. Okay. He was a weaker in the first season. Okay, I got you. Well, that's the only one I know, but still. Okay. Yeah, it might just be random. I honestly don't know. But whatever it is, maybe it's the luck of the draw, but whatever it is, we're going. That's how we're gonna do it. Do I need to cheat again? Yes, you do. Yeah, everybody needs to cheat. Let's go. And what I mean by cheat is send me super chats. That'll put you number 1. Kayla says, that's it. Due to Teen Titans, X-Men, I want to see Dark Phoenix destroy Darkseid. Do a teen. Yeah. JLU was so fucking good. I don't think I watched any of them. I just remember some clips. But then again, I'm a little bit older when those movies came out, or when those TV series came out. So yeah, I'm gonna go with a 6 out of 10 of this movie. Was it fine to go see? I don't mind. I don't regret paying money to go see it. My daughter liked it. She liked crypto. She's a kid, of course she did. So all in all, it was fine. I'm interested to see what they do next and what they do going forward. Oh shit. Well, you're older than me. Okay. Well, I have no excuse then. I have no excuse. All right, let me bring this up. So this is here's one thing I wanted. Is this the article? Nope, that's not it. Let's go to. All right. So the box office, the total box office, global box office for this movie, estimated for the weekend, was $217 million, including my $40 that I gave today. I believe Jurassic Park brought in about $314 million. So when we talk about these big blockbuster movies for the summer, Jurassic Park Rebirth last week, Superman this week, Fantastic Four next week, we're talking about who's going to be the king of the summer. And I said it months ago, that I thought of these 3 movies that Jurassic Park was going to be the movie that was going to come out on top. Now, I'm not taking a victory lap on this yet, because we're yet to see who's got the staying power, right? Who's got the staying power over the next few weeks. But when Superman was selling all the tickets and people were doing all the hype for this film coming out, and again, I got no vested interest in this film doing bad or good. I watched the people doing the promotion for this movie, and people were talking about like all the pre-sale tickets. Like, it's already $200 million opening weekend and just the pre-sales alone. Some people would be like, oh, this is going to be 300 million. I saw some people saying they thought it was going to do like 400 million. And again, a lot of people didn't like the dinosaur movies either. I get that. People are just kind of against stuff in general lately. Fine. But I said months ago that Jurassic Park has a bigger built-in audience than the superhero movie audience. And probably the reason why is everyone's so divided between DC and Marvel or Snyder and Gunn and all this kind of stuff that a lot of people just probably outright refuse to go see Superman because they're such big Henry Cavill fans and didn't want to embrace the new, Superman, which is fine. That's your money. You do what you do. But that means that the dinosaur fans that's geared to families, to teenagers, to older people, to young kids, to a certain age. I mean, it's still a violent movie, not very gory, but still violent. Came out to see that movie and came out big. And I even remember like on Monday and Tuesday when Superman was doing the early previews, like it was wherever it was being released, people were saying they were seeing it on Tuesday or wherever that was in different parts of the country. Jurassic Park was still bringing in millions of dollars at the box office. So, not taking a victory lap right now because we have no idea what Fantastic Four is going to do. But I do want to say that I think so far Jurassic Park is looking pretty damn solid. And if they have another good week, think about it. They had a pretty good week when Superman came out. That's pretty impressive. I don't know what the total box office is right now where Jurassic Park Rebirth is sitting worldwide, globally. But I think they're going to have staying power. Now, any of these movies going to hit $1 billion? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I don't even think they're going to sniff $1 billion. I just don't think we're in that era anymore. Yeah, Deadpool Wolverine did it, but that was a unique thing, right? That was something they built up for a year, a whole year. They built that up when Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman first released their big teaser the year before. It was smart marketing, and they built it up correctly. And everybody came out and saw it. It was Hugh Jackman's kind of like not a swan song because he kind of came back from Logan, but he was coming back. He was a popular character. Everybody wanted to see these characters to get together. It hit. It worked. $1 billion. I don't think there's enough staying power for Superman to get there. I don't think Fantastic Four is going to do shit. I mean, what do you guys think? Give me an estimate of what you think Fantastic Four is going to do next week and in the box office worldwide. Give me a worldwide estimate, because if we're looking at Jurassic Park doing 314 million in its first weekend, and then Superman with all its early previews, and I think it had more days at the box office than Jurassic Park did on its opening weekend, is getting 217 million. I'm kind of getting fearful for Marvel right now in Fantastic Four. $70. I think it's gonna make a little bit more than that. 50. Well, I'm thinking that it's going to do it's going to be right around that 200 million mark. But I almost think it's going to be less than Superman. Now, I'm not an expert on these things. I don't know how the industry works and all that kind of stuff. But just looking at the trend, there was a lot of legitimate hype for this Superman movie, or at least it seemed like it. A lot of people were coming out trying to champion this movie. There was a lot of people trying to bash the movie. So there's a lot of, all publicity is good publicity, right? And there was a lot of stuff going on for this movie, and it still came out in whatever, 217 is fine. But what does it say? The budget in this film, say in this article, I think it was like 255 million was the budget on this film. Yeah, the film cost 225 million to make. An opening weekend, 217 million. Fine, right? You got to double the 200, so we're talking about 500 million that has to make just to kind of break even, which is interesting because you see this article here. It says Superman spinoffs, Justice League, plus more if the film makes 500 million or more. It's come out that this studio is only wanting, or they're happy if this movie makes 500 million, which makes no sense to me because that's not good comparative to everything you put into this movie to make and to advertise. To me, that's not a good number. You get around 800, I think you could be fine with that. You'd be successful. 800 million. Maybe it gets there, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. We'll see. I'm interested to see what the drop off of this movie may or may not be into week 2, because Jurassic Park seemed to go pretty darn strong into week 2. People are pissed over the Silver Surfer stuff. Yeah. I think it's going to hurt. if Superman came out and did another 300 million, then I'd be like, all right, we were set up to do another 300 million open weekend with Fantastic Four. But because Superman came out and, in my opinion, underperformed at 217 million, I'm thinking that Fantastic Four might end in third place, to be honest with you. Marvel has had such a hard time over the last 10 years with its fan base because of the shit that they put out after Endgame. And Fantastic Four, although looks legitimately decent, there's still things they did within the movie that still pissed off the fan base. You know, they couldn't just go make a really good movie and give something that all the fans wanted. So we're gonna see. Judging by customers and lack of interest in the Fantastic Four products and current comics, even keys, I don't think Fantastic Four will do as well as Superman, sadly. I'm right there with you. With my fictional Predator movie directed by me coming out on YouTube, Fantastic Four won't do diddly. Well, I'm going to watch it. You let me know where. Rick Saylor slipped by. Uh-oh. Rick Saylor's number one. Yeah, the chat never lies. Rick Saylor just took the number one slot. Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. Gunn is already coping and saying he thinks it's okay if it only makes 500 million. Yeah, that's the thing. The entire studio is coming out. Before the movie even dropped, this article, is it, maybe it's a different one I saw. Let me see. This came out, yeah, July 11th. This article came out on July 11th before the movie. Well, actually, I guess the movie did come out, didn't it? What was the 11th? Let me look at my calendar here. So, okay, the movie had already been out for a couple days because I forgot it had all the early previews or whatever. But still, this came out July 11th, and right off the bat, they're like, if it makes 500 million, we're good. We're good. It's successful. We're going to go forward. You want to know why? Because they've already planned to go forward no matter what. I don't think they want to do another repeat of the debacle of the Snyderverse, you know, where it was trashed after, 5-6 years, maybe less than that, and just fell apart. They have a 10-year plan for the DC universe under Gunn. 10 years. Superman, Supergirl, I'm assuming Lobo, Batman, Wonder Woman. I'm assuming at some point they're going to do another Justice League movie. The Authority they're talking about doing, spin-offs and all this kind of stuff. There's no way that they're going to put a high expectation and be like, this movie has to make $1 billion like it did with Superman, coming off of the Dark Knight trilogy or the Batman Begins trilogy with Nolan, that they're going to look at this as anything but a success. And they're probably pretty excited about 217 million opening weekend going forward, because they'll probably get to the 500 million. I have no doubt they will. But yeah, that's low bar in my opinion, right? Low bar. Doubt it. Fantastic Four probably will do about the same, slightly less probably. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking probably around, the 200 mil mark, right around there. Every time I see a Fantastic Four, or a tease for the Fantastic Four, I want to see even less. The problem with the Fantastic Four for me is it's got a lot of things against it, right? It's already got the pushback with the Marvel fans. They've been sick and fed up with the stuff that we've gotten over the last 10 years or whatever about, especially with Phase 4. Pedro Pascal is in everything. People are getting tired of that dude. So the casting is off. They got the female Silver Surfer in there. A lot of things against it right off the bat. And I think it's going to be another thing where you're going to see, starting of this week, people are going to be like, oh, the pre-sale tickets are great. This is going to trend for this. And then the actual weekend comes and it's going to peter out probably right around the 200 mark. That's my thought process. And I think Jurassic Park is going to keep on going strong. Yeah, Gunn talking too much online killed his run. Well, the problem is that I think the run's still going to go no matter what. I mean, I think these movies would have to tail dive and do, less than 500 for them not to go forward. But Gunn, talking too much. The promotion for this movie was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Too much talking. When are they going to learn to just not talk so much? I put a post out earlier today because I showed my daughter, because I was like, what movie we're going to go see today? And she's like, no. I was like, we're going to go see Superman. And just, how much I like Superman. She's like, can we watch the trailer? I was like, absolutely. So I pulled up the trailer, and I happened the first thing I saw was the teaser trailer, the original teaser they put out like 6 months ago that had everybody excited. And it's a great teaser. He's got that. Is it John Williams? He's got the guitar version of the Superman theme. And it just is not a lot of speaking in the trailer. And it just really pulls on the emotional feel of the trailer with the music, and it shows just enough for you to be like, damn, this movie is going to be good. I remember when I first saw that, I was like, this is going to be good. I'm excited about this. And then they kept doing trailer after trailer and clip after clip, and every time they put something out, I was less and less excited to see the movie. I'm like, stop already. Like, this is horrible. Stop putting this stuff out, because you are making someone that's a big fan of Superman, and I want Superman to be successful on either the small screen or the big screen, because I love the character and I would love to see stories told with him. You're making me less and less excited to see this movie, because every time you put out a clip, it's something that I don't want to see or that I'm worried about. And unfortunately, I went and saw the movie, and it pretty much backed up everything I was worried about, but not as bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was worried it was going to be like a 10, and it was only an 8. You know what I'm saying? Still a pretty decent movie altogether for enjoyment. And again, I'm there with my wife, I'm there with my daughter, so I take a little bit more of enjoyment by watching my daughter. And I'll look over every once in a while some scenes with crypto or whatever, and just to see what she's doing, how she's experiencing the movie, you know. And she's got a big old smile on her face, so that makes me happy, right? So I can go away with being like, okay, it was a fun movie, it was a fun family movie to see. As far as a Superman movie that I want to see, it fell flat, and I'm pretty disappointed, even though I thought it was even though I liked it. That's what it is. I gotta say, I liked it, but it was a bad movie. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. It's hard to make something better than they already did. That's why DC is positioned well, because they can easily make a better movie than Superman. Good point. I mean, if this is the floor, cool. Learn from it and do better, right? That's all. I'm all for second chances. You know, if you're not repeating the same mistakes, which Marvel seems to be doing, I'm for giving second chances and getting excited about stuff, because I love comics. I love these characters, and I love seeing them brought to life on the big screen. I love Fantastic Four. My dad loves Fantastic Four. My dad shook his head through the whole trailer. He said, I think we'll rent it at home. Nice. They only need $500 million because of savings of not using a real dog. Yeah, that's what it is. See? It's CGI. Let's go. Yeah, very based. Very based. We're talking food, shampoo. Oh, okay, let's go. He also said they could have at least had a woman with a hot bod. Yes, if they wanted to do a female Silver Surfer instead of a girl with a boy's body. Facts. Shout out to your dad for that one. I agree. If you're going to do the female Silver Surfer, at least make her curvy and hot and booby, like, you know? And I don't mind the actresses playing her. I think she's miscast, but you're right. Yeah, you're right. 10-year plan. What did the Joker say about having a plan? Oh, that's a good point. It's a good point. If they don't make it, they will buy their own tickets like they did for Captain Marvel. Oh God. I hope not. If it costs $225 million, then $500 million is a wild success. MCU phase 1 through 3 were such hits. They've skewed what to be realistically expected as profits, plus with the economy in the dumps. I get that to a point, Tank Ferret, but the prevailing thought is that if you spend $225 million to make the movie, you're spending almost the exact same money to promote the movie worldwide, with all their campaigns, with all the trailers, with everything they do to promote. So that's $500 million that goes into that movie that needs to be remade or made back just to break even. So if you're only getting $500 million at the box office, you're only essentially breaking even. Now, they might look at that as a little bit different. You know, I don't know. But I would assume that if you want to really make a profit, you're trying to get to $800 million at least to go over that break-even point to bring home. Is that the first superhero movie you took her to see, Joe? Yeah, in the theater. Yeah, in the theater it is. Yep. She's watching others at home. When I've watched them, some of the appropriate ones, But yeah, it's the first one in the theater that she saw. I didn't even notice that aspect of the Baby Yoda relationship. Oh, yeah. I can see that. Yeah. As he says, Weapon X Project, Two Machine. My dad's laughing, Joe. I'm with him. Oh, he's hooking up. Nice. Yeah. You do you. And good luck, sir. Good luck. I'm thinking of you. And shout out. Plus the theaters get a cut. Well, that's another thing too. Yeah, that's a perfect point. The theaters get a cut as well. So yeah, this 500 million mark to me, it's just noise. They have a plan to do 10 years. They've got it already invested. It's too much to go get out of it now. And I don't think they're planning to be honest with you. All right, one of the hot spots of the movie, one of the bright spots of the movie was Mr. Fantastic, who I actually liked, my wife liked. He had some of the coolest scenes. The character was acted well, delivered the lines very well. And so I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, I could get down with this. And I didn't really know the character even from the comics. I knew who he was, but not too much after that. Superman scene stealer Eddie Gathegi explains how his Mr. Terrific role, did I say terrific or fantastic? Anyway, atones for his broken X-Men promise. His memory of a compliment from James Gunn at the Suicide Squad premiere years earlier convinced the actor to send in a self-tape for Superman, even though he was reluctant to do it at first. If you guys remember, this was the actor who played Darwin, I believe, in X-Men First Class, which I actually didn't mind that movie. And I did like his character. I knew it. It's the stupid Disney movie. Is it Mr. Fantastic? And that I don't know why I'm talking to you guys. You probably don't know. They really getting a jump on Fantastic Four by putting him in the movie. I'm telling you, yeah. It's it is what it is. That's what I do. I mess things up all the time. Outside the movie itself, the most feel-good story to come out of James Gunn's Superman belongs to Eddie. 16 years ago, I'm feeling old, my friends. Feeling old. Eddie, I'll just say because I can't pronounce his last name, was offered the role of Darwin in Matthew Vaughn's X-Men First Class, and before he ultimately agreed to play the highly adaptable regenerative mutant, he voices concerns about the character's abrupt death midway through the film. For Eddie, the shocking moment underscored age-old problematic tropes. I called my agents to say, hey, listen, I have a problem with the fact that this character is the only black character in the film aside from Zoe Kravitz's character. I almost forgot she was in the movie. Yeah, she played whatever her name was with the fairy wings, right? Somebody put it in there. I'm not good with those characters. I am also the only mutant who meets an untimely demise halfway through the film, Eddie tells the Hollywood Reporter in support of Superman's July 11th theatrical release. It was 2009 at the time, and I was like, hey, killing the black guy first is so played out, I can't do this. Incredible. Okay, no, that's not even fantastic. Yeah, so I am just thinking of Fantastic Four. Good God, y'all. Yeah, my bad. Well, thank you. Producers then eased his concerns at the time by making the promise of greener pastures. In other words, Eddie was giving assurances that he'd return in a future X-Men installment based on his character's ability to restore himself, which would have made sense, if they had done that. I'll just say that. They assured us that it was essential for the storytelling in order to motivate the mutants to avenge my character's death, which it was. It worked good. I thought it was a good point in the movie. They also fully intended sorry, I don't want to try to cut. Hopefully I muted that in time. Where is I? Sure. Blah, blah, blah. They also fully intended to bring my character back as they do in the comics. Darwin can't die. He regenerates, Eddie recalls. So we held on to that hope that they would honor that their word. When I didn't come back for X-Men Apocalypse, I knew it was done. In 2023, Eddie Reps asked him to send in a self-tape for the part of Mr. Terrific, not Fantastic, in Gunn's then upcoming Superman movie. But he initially resisted the idea to the TV role he just landed opposite of Robert De Niro. I have no idea what that is. As well as an impending European vacation. Of course, that's very important. He felt it would just be another tape to get lost in the shuffle. However, he then learned that the DC Studios co-CEO and Superman director was especially eager to see him audition. What Eddie didn't know was that Gunn had already seen 200 people for the role. Wow, that's crazy. And he still hadn't found the right candidate, prompting him to ask his casting director why Eddie hadn't read for the part yet. Laserdisc? What am I doing here? I haven't seen anything since Endgame. Heck, I'm watching the take of Peel Ham. Wait, what? I'm watching the taking of Peel Ham 123 on Laserdisc. I have no idea what that is, Rick. Dude, the really tan guy survived in Night of Living Dead. How much more accommodating must the producers be? Possible sarcasms. I like that. I can't believe a character called Darwin didn't survive. Eddie and Gunn had known each other over in passing for years. And the Kenyan American actor suddenly remembered a compliment that Gunn had paid him on the red carpet of the Suicide Squad in 2021. Was he in that movie? So he sent off a self-tape the day before he was set to leave the country. And while he was en route to LAX, Gunn DM'd him to praise his tape, which eventually led to the casting of Mr. Terrific. Eddie's turn as the suave, high-tech superhero and member of Superman Allied Justice Gang is now being widely regarded as Superman's scene-stealing performance. He did, too. He absolutely, if you guys saw the movie, you know what I'm talking about. There's this one scene where he had, which was an awesome scene. I'm thinking to myself, well, shit, we don't need Superman. We got Mr. Terrific here. Terrific, right? Yeah, terrific. For Eddie, his second bite of the superhero apple means so much more when considering how he was treated by Fox's Marvel Universe. And it goes on and on and on. A good night, all. Like, share, and stay magnificent. Thank you, brother. You too. Appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out with me. Whereas with Mr. Terrific and Superman, the message that I'm receiving is you can be one of the most intelligent characters in the universe and you can help save the world. It's a different level of conversation. So yeah, he gets to come back. He was killed off too early. You know, he was the trope black character, and he redeemed himself, and he gets to shout from the rooftops about it now and be all excited about it. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you for doing your thing and sticking around and actually playing one of the better characters in that movie. I really enjoyed it. Okay. There goes my computer. Give me 2 seconds. Am I back? I'm back? Okay. All right. Let's segue to Reaper Destroyer news. Reaper Destroyer. Let me bring this up real quick. The sign-up sheet for Reaper Destroyer issue 2 is live and ready to go. Let's go. There you go, Rick, my man. It's already pinned up to the top. Everybody, if you want to, if you haven't yet, the links are below. Links are in the top of the chat. Reaper Destroyer issue 2 is in the works, tentatively trying to launch this in September. We have a beautiful cover by Brett motherfucking Booth. I can say that now that my daughter's not in the room like she was last time. But Brett came on and did an awesome. I had it by me, so that's all buried. I was going to show you guys the original, but it's buried down there. An awesome cover for me and just depicting Reaper Destroyer in a way that I'd never seen before. I'm so extremely excited to have him gracing the cover, one of the variant covers of the campaign on issue 2. And I got to say, it's looking badass. Shout out to Dave Kemp for doing such a great job coloring this piece, and Marlo Quiza for doing such a great job inking the piece. Speaking of Marlo, I get to work with Marlo on inks for this issue, and I am extremely excited to everything he and I are doing. It's fun to have a conversation. I know a lot of people are inking their own work these days, and I enjoy inking my own stuff as well. But the facts are I can draw a lot faster than I can ink and draw. And it's fun to work with somebody that is talented as Marlo and you can trust. And when you do that, it's kind of like when I had Matt Batbani and Joe Weems on the first issue. And I could hand off something to him knowing that it was going to be my vision, but it was going to be returned to me even better than I had given it to them. And that's the same thing Marlo does. He does a great job of turning in that art. It just looks fantastic. I have a sneak peek at page 1 that is being mailed to me as of right now, but Marlo texted me a picture of the finished page, and I'm going to show that off at the end of the show. So stick around before you go if you want to see that. That's not going to be shown off until probably for a while. We also have a variant cover by Oliver Isabedra, who did, if you guys got the supplemental book in the first campaign, he did the Apophis story for me that I wrote, that he drew. And it's awesome. He's one of my favorite artists in the indie scene today, hands down. I get to work with some very talented people on both the first campaign and on the second campaign and on stuff that we're doing in the future. Fabio Simeo was another guy that did some work on the supplemental that was just amazing, just talent-wise. So shout out to everybody. I'm very blessed for the people I get to work with on this campaign. But sign up now, early rewards, all that good stuff. Share it out if you guys haven't yet. Put it on social media. Share it around for me. Let people know it's going to be out there. Let's try to build as much hype as we can for issue 2 going into September. And if I have to push it for a little bit, I want to do this right. I want to do this campaign right. The last campaign made $75,400 some odd dollars. My expectations were blown away. I had no idea that was going to be something that was going to be even possible. But you guys came out, you supported it, you made it a success. Thank you. Shout out to everybody that backed the book. Let's make this one a bigger success. Let's take this over the hill. Rick Siller would be like, this should be a 6 figures young lady. Let's go. Let's do it. Sign up today. Check it out. Reaper Destroyer issue 2 live at Indiegogo now. Links are in top and below. I would appreciate it. All right. Before I show that off, I got a couple questions for you guys. Well, maybe I'll save that to next week. I'm also not going to be able to do the song this week, guys. I apologize for that. My computer crashed. I spent a lot of time trying to fix that, which I got that up now. Hopefully it sticks around for a little bit. And I had to take everything down in order to do that. So I got to set it back up. I'll learn the song, as embarrassing as it's going to be. And it's going to be a hard song. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be a hard song to perform for you guys next week. But I'm going to do it because that was the deal. But unfortunately, this week was not a good week to do it. Wyatt's in the house. Reflooring an RV had to stop and say, why isn't a Reaper Destroyer preview page not a highlight in the title of this video? I should do it, right? I should do that. Well, I'm trying to promote it now, but yeah, I'll work on that. Yeah, I'm sorry, Kayla. Yeah, Kayla in the chat are the ones that picked that song. That's my bad. Next week. I got to make sure it's good enough, at least, to earn that $50. I can't leave you guys hanging and have a bad performance. And it was a tough week with a lot of things happening. So, yeah, it is what it is. Let's run this bitch on Kickstarter. And now let's launch right now. The only thing to lose is money and possible backers. That's true. I do plan on doing a Kickstarter for issue 1. I've got an Isaac Bell cover out there that I have to use, and that was always the idea. And I still want to do that. I don't know a lot about Kickstarter. I'm bringing in some people to talk about it and help me out, set it up. It's not going to be as big of a thing as the Indiegogo thing is. It's just going to be I'm going to put it out there and see what we can do. See if we can bring in some extra backers and new readers to the book, because that's what it's about. I want to put the book out wherever I can put it so people can read it. And as much as I can do, that's what we're doing. I might do a Fun My Comic at some point. I don't know. I mean, this is also a lot of work to do the multiple campaigns on different platforms. And I didn't want to lose out on the success and the feedback from Reaper Destroyer issue 1 and the fact that it's completely fulfilled now. We're moving on. It's like, might as well, let's turn this around. Let's do this now. Let's not wait too long before we get into the success or playing off the success of the first one. So that's why we're kind of moving quickly to get into the second one. But I do plan on doing that first one again on Kickstarter. Don't know a lot about Kickstarter. Make sure you have at least 30 variant covers with 2 NSFW versions, or they won't take you serious. Yeah, so I'm definitely not going to play the Kickstarter game. That is for sure. Shout out to Mo. Good point. I'm not playing the Kickstarter game. I'm not going to have a shit ton of new covers. I'm not going to have a lot of, what is it, the naughty covers or whatever. I just don't have time for that. If I had time, would I do it? Possibly. What I have is an Isaac Bell cover that is not being used for anything. It was specifically earmarked for Kickstarter. It's a Kickstarter exclusive, and I'll probably do the main cover, the wraparound cover, this one right here, again. But the Dale cover, that was exclusive to Indiegogo. The Dale cover was an Indiegogo cover that's only going to be on Indiegogo. And whatever I overprinted for this, which I did, I got a significant number of overprints that will be selling on my website that's hopefully it's being worked on right now. And hopefully I can give you guys more news on that the next time we see each other. And maybe we'll be able to launch it and kick that off here pretty soon. But that's exclusive Indiegogo. Kickstarter is going to be its own thing. It's going to be kind of a stripped down version of the campaign, just to kind of test the waters over there and see what we can do. Maybe 2 covers, probably max, maybe the black and white version. And we're going to do that. We're going to run it for a straight 30 days in and out and see what we do. Okay, StreamYard, where's all your stuff?
There's a super chat, motherfucker.
There we go. Why Eastman for $2 says, let's get a My Enemy's Fall soundtrack on Reaper Destroyer 2. That would be cool. You know, I've wondered this because a lot of people have wondered about the band. In my former life as the frontman of Mine Enemies Fall, I could put that music up on the website at some point. You know, if people are interested in it, they can just download it from the website once that gets up there. Because there's a lot of good music. Very proud of my career in music for sure. Thank you for the $2, Wyatt. Appreciate you. You're gonna do great everywhere. I hope so. Like I said, I try to put no expectations on what I do when it comes to Reaper Destroyer. I just write the best story I can. I draw the best art I can. I try to improve as I go forward, and that's just what it is. And hopefully it resonates with people, and it seems to be resonating. You know, I know we just got over that whole, Death Shroud stuff, and I just want to kind of reiterate some of that stuff and just say, like, I have no beef to anybody out there. Even some of the weird shit that happened over the last week or so, still, I got no beef when it comes to that stuff. I moved on from it, right? I wish nothing but success to those guys over there. You do your thing, and I will continue to do my thing. And that's what it will be. The best thing I can do moving forward is make sure that book is the best book it can be, and that it's as most successful as it can be. Exposure and hopefully get backers at the real point of Kickstarter, not really the money just pay pigs. Well, I mean, yeah, everything I do, money's great, right? Let's not beat around the bush. You know what I'm saying? Money is great if you can make it. Awesome. I made some decent money off of Reaper Destroyer issue 1. Helped me invest into some things that hopefully, which I have not been able to use, with some stuff I have in mind for going forward when it comes to growing the company. Helped me bring in other talent, to hire other talent to do more books, the supplemental. So it was great, but really, if I can make these books and just get them out to the people that back them so I can tell my story and be able to afford to do it. The whole issue with the crowdfunding thing, I put a video out earlier. I need the money to be able to pay the guys I have in the book, because I have top talent on Reaper Destroyer, and I have top talent on books that I'm going to be producing going forward that are other titles from my company, Superior Press. And when you have top talent, you got to pay that top talent. Otherwise, you're going to be bringing in lesser people to draw or to write or to color. And I don't want that. These books have to, and I stress, have to look as professional as possible. Now, if people have issues when it comes to writing or story or whatever, valid. It's all valid. But the looks of the book have to be as professional looking as possible. They have to be able to be put on the shelf somewhere and stand up to anything else that's next to it on the shelf. That is the guarantee I have for you from a Superior Press, and anything that I put out from this company has to be that professional. And for that, you need the top talent and you need the money. So crowdfunding is the best way to do that. Joe's only comment. I wish that was it. Yeah. I mean, you need money, but the stable money is key. No, yeah. No, I feel you that. Would you accept Reaper Destroyer standing over a Thrash Death Shroud for a variant cover? No, because I'm not going to use somebody else's character without their permission. And yeah, that's no. Fan art, I can't stop what anybody does. But as far as me producing a book, no. Speaking of professionalism, let's go. All right. Your own competition yourself. You focus on what you do to continue to get better. Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah. Now I get what you're saying. Don't get me wrong, though. I'm very competitive with a lot of people out there. I said this on last Tuesday's stream or whenever I did it. I see the good campaigns out there. I see the good artists out there. Trust me, I'm keeping an eye on things. I'm lurking when people post art and I see stuff and I'm like, fuck, that looks good. Like I gotta step my game up. But that's a good thing, right? You gotta step your game up. You want to see what your friendly competition is doing, and you want to step your game up so you can match that. And you want to be better. If you're not competitive, then I don't know what you're doing. We can all get along. We can all share each other's stuff, support each other's stuff. But there is a competition at the end of the day, and it should be. Why was Image so great in the past? Even though somebody might argue with that when it comes to the stories, but Image was so great because the competition between the top dogs was so fierce that they were always trying to outdo each other within their own company. You know, they weren't necessarily going after DC or Marvel. They were trying to outdo the guys in their own studio or their partners' studios. That's what made Image so great. Get the great talent, the books, the crossovers, whatever. They were trying to outdo each other, and we were the ones that would benefit of that, you know. Well, fan art will be, it will be. All right, I like that. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do. Yes, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you were watching over on X, please come over to the YouTube channel for a second. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, join in the chat, hang out with us here. But regardless, share out the stream wherever you're at. Let people know we're live. I do the show on Sundays, on Tuesdays, and on Thursdays. Usually all at 8 o'clock, all different shows. Ronin Joe show here at 10, or here on Sundays at usually 8. On Tuesday, we do the Spawn review. And then on Thursdays, we do a show called Odd and Stuff, usually all at 8. But these are good shows. We got some great co-hosts here. We talk about comics. We talk about fun stuff. This is just my show to hang out with you guys and shoot the shit and talk about some things and promote myself. All right, we're going to get out of here. But before we do, here is the preview for page 1. If you guys have been paying attention, for Reaper Destroyer, you know that I've got stuff in the works. I'm working on, there we go, this image up, ready to go. Working on issue 2 as we speak. I'm working on the layout for issue 1, which is actually sitting over, or page 3 of issue 2 is sitting over there. It's looking fantastic, by the way. I'm so excited. The direction this book is going, some of the things I'm playing around with theme-wise, it's going to be quite a bit different than issue 2. So it's not going to be a retelling of issue 2. We're not going to be in the same state, you know, doing stuff to be different, you know, definitely different, especially after, you know, having some allegations of ripping off and stuff. Like, I want to do things to go in different places that haven't seen this character or a character like this before. And I think it's going to be great. It's awesome. We got the first page back. Shout out to Marlo for inking this. We have until September. That's right. All right, here we go. This is a picture taken by a phone by Marlo, sent to me to show me that the page was done. So we're not zooming in on this. This is not high definition. I'm not even going to keep it up for very long, but this is an exclusive for you guys that are in the chat tonight. Reaper Destroyer, issue 2, page 1, drawn by myself, inked by Marlo. Here we go. Let's go. This is a beautifully, beautifully inked page. Everything that I put into this page, every line was done perfectly and then added on by a master like Marlo, a master inker like Marlo. And this page absolutely kicks. It kills. I love it. I love the storytelling. I love the way that it looks in black and white. And yes, there will be another black and white version of this book that we put out. And I can't wait to see this in color when Dave can go over this and color this and make it just pop. You know, this book is going to be so fucking awesome. I can't even tell you. And seeing stuff like this gets me so jacked up and excited about this. I can't even wait. And we're even talking, this is the first page of the book. Everybody, first page of the book. And I've already obviously seen the second page, and I'm working on the third page, and I'm doing everything I can to make this thing look as badass as I can. And then we're going to bring the story along as well to be just as good. But check this out. Don't forget to sign up for Reaper Destroyer issue 2. Links below. Links are in the chat right now. Hopefully launching in September. Spread the word. Let everybody know that this is real, that we're going to do this, and this is going to be awesome. This is going to be one of the best books you see when it comes out. I 100% put a stamp on that and guarantee one of the best books you are going to see when we drop this thing. I can't wait for you guys. It's absolutely, absolutely awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Everybody's watching, sticking around. Anybody's watching later. Appreciate you guys as well. It is. This is the jerk page. This is the money shot page. If Sean was here, he would let you guys know. 100%. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate it. And again, all the artists that come in here, I'm so thankful for these talented people that come into this chat. So I take that with great pride that that you say that, because you are a fantastic artist, my friend. Fantastic. Your poll quote. What's your poll quote? Oh, here we go. If you like Death Shroud, you'll love Reaper Destroyer. I like that. I should put that out somewhere. That's a good one. I don't want I don't want to rub people the wrong way. That's what I'm here to do. But still, you also 100% get the book too. That's a fact. We get books out. We've proven that now. Yeah, the first issue took longer than we thought it was going to, but we learned a lot in the process. We're going to make it cheaper and faster for people to get the books going forward, and we're going to turn these around faster. if we can. We're also going to put out more titles from the books. You will get your book 100% guaranteed. I've proven that, and that's not going to stop anytime. Anytime. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, spread the word. Spread the word. Let people know. Share that page around if you can. Sign up for it if you haven't yet. Honestly, word of mouth helps so much. I'm so appreciative of you guys there in the chat and anybody that's backed the book before that is advertising and sharing this out and excited to see it. So thank you so much, everyone. This has been a hell of a run. I can't wait to get into issue 2, finish it, and move on to issue 3 because we got a fun story to tell. And it ain't stopping anytime soon because I ain't getting any younger. If you don't like Reaper Destroyer, you have considered Dick Flavored Chewy Tobacco. If you like great books, you'll love Reaper Destroyer. Yeah, no, I appreciate you guys. All right, everybody, thank you for joining me tonight on this Sunday night, kickstarting your week. I hope everyone has a fantastic week going forward. I'm going to get ready. I'm going to go to bed, get ready for work, do all the stuff we do. But the Spawn Review Tuesday, On Stuff Thursday, be back here next Sunday at 8 p.m. for another Ronin Joe show. Let me take a look at the YouTube chat before I get out of here so I can make sure who is number 1. And as I'm saying, Rick Saylor is at the number 1 spot, about to tie Mo Biggs for 3 wins on the year. Mo Biggs did a furious comeback after being gate-kept by Michael Bancroft for the last couple weeks. He did a valiant effort, held number 1 for a second. He is now number 2, but he was there coming back. So this is going to be a heavy competition going down the stretch. I can feel it. So shout out to everybody that's a part of it. Appreciate you guys. Crack Pack out there in the chat, smoking crack every day. Bow. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Shout out to D-Wag. Shout out to D-Wag. All right, everybody. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to jump out of here. Everyone have a good night. Take care of one another. Be good to each other. And as always, picture me naked. Talk to y'all later. Peace.